Alrighty, righty. Okay, let's see. Audio test. How's this going? Okay, let's stream up. Alright, let's see. Let's try that one more time. Alright, let's see. Let's try that one more time. There we go. Alright, perfect. Okie dokie. Here we go. Okie dokie, let's see. Oh, hey, oi. Hey Noah, what's up? What is going on? Alright, let me put my stream over here real quick. Alright, so let's see. Stream has begun. Alright, just gonna wait a sec, see who else comes on. Nothing much. Yeah, same here. I'm just working on this. It got super cold last night. We're just gonna have like a massive snowstorm today. It's absolutely nuts. Let me see. What was I gonna do? I was gonna check something. Yeah, okay, the ref sheets. Oh, and I think I'm gonna try running some music this time. Hopefully this one isn't copyrighted. I try my best to find something. There we go. Alright, perfect. We got 3 viewers. Oh, hello. Pleasure to have you here. Alright, so the stream is relatively simple today. Nothing too crazy. We're just going to be working on this YCH. And yeah. So I'm going to wait a minute or two, see if anybody else comes on from the server, and then I'll get started. Oh my goodness. So the YCHs have been going pretty well. The other day I finished this one actually for another client, and I think this one came out super nice. I'm really happy with how all the colors and the lines came out on it. And yeah, no, I admit at first I was a little worried about trying like a kind of magazine type thing, but honestly it's coming out nice. Okay, let's see, how long have we been streaming for? 2 minutes. Okay. Now let's see if anybody else gets on. No, okay. In that case, I think I'm gonna get started right away. Can you guys hear the, like, is my audio and, like, the music, like, mixed just fine? Because I don't want one to be too loud over the other. Let's see. It's all well and good. Okay, perfect. Okay, so today we're starting with Dizzy Slot. So huge thanks to Dizzy for buying this slot and for be a tad quiet for your mic. Oh, sure thing. I might have to just move it a little closer. OBS is a little funky with mic mixing, but let me try. Here we go. Okay, is this a little bit better? Let me see. Okay, is this a little bit better? Yeah, there we go. That should be a bit better. All right, perfect. I wanted to get the audio mixing right because OBS is a little finicky with it. Okay, perfect. All right, let's get started. Okay, so we're starting off with Dizzy's character here, and for this YCH, we have the main one, which is going to be the star of this little magazine, at least the first pilot issue that we're doing. All right, so let's see. We have the background character, and we have this here. Yeah, the 2 different backgrounds. So I think for this one, I'm going to start off with something kind of a little more casual. I'm not sure. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting here, but I do want to do something a little bit flary, if that makes any sense. Casual with flary. Alright, let's give it a try. So I think I'm going to start off with... Let's see. Where should we go from here? Outfit, outfit, outfit. So I did have one idea for the outfit in particular that I thought was kind of neat in continuing the regal kind of style I've been doing with some of the other ones. Because I noticed for this one I've been doing a lot of like really fancy like furs and like that sort of thing. So I could do something like that. Let me see. I do kind of like the idea of going for an almost like modern royalty kind of aesthetic. I think that could be kind of neat. Yeah, you know what? Let's give it a try. Okay, so straight off the top of my head. So the colors that are immediately coming to mind are going to be like whites, kind of lavenderish whites, and something else. Okay, I think I'm going to start with like a pennant here. And I'm going to make this match the color of her eyes, which is this kind of like silvery color-esque, something like so. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. And actually, you know what? I'm going to use my soft brush for this. A fashion mag for furries, Mavericat. Hey, welcome to the stream, Mavericat. Yes, this is a fashion magazine for furries. So if you're not familiar with who I am or what I do, I'm an artist, pretty obviously a furry artist. But the plan here is essentially, I was inspired by the last YCH I did, which was the bikini fit one, to do stuff that was primarily clothing focused because I really love designing clothing. So I figured why not, you know, just go all out, and then I figured I should make it a YCH where the people who pay in are the models and they are kind of just helping, you know, make the magazine work. Okay, so is that a good angle for the pendant? Let me see. Does she feel more rectangle or does she feel more circles? Actually, what would circles look like on this? No, rectangles for sure. Ooh, wait, actually, let me try something neat. What if I do leaves going across the pendant? I think that'd be kind of nice. Yeah, something like this. So yeah, so the plan is pretty simple. Just have these YCHs running, and, you know, people who want to buy them, their characters will end up on the magazine in the final, which is going to come out at the end of the month. It's pretty, like, straightforward. Basically, I'm just going to do all these YCHs until everything is sold out, and then once everything is sold out, I'm going to compile everything into, like, an actual proper, like, stylized, like, magazine with, like editorial spreads and, like, different kind of pages and whatnot. And, you know, just everything kind of running and all the its and bits and bobs and different ends that would be in a magazine of any sort. I do work in design kind of in real life, so I figured this is something I know how to do, and so why not try it? Oh, I like how that's looking so far. But you know what, actually, I think this first leaf needs to be a lot bigger, so I need to stylize this shape more. Like so. Okay, there we go, much better. There we are. But yeah, honestly, if anybody has any questions for it, I'd love to answer. This is the first time I'm trying anything like this, but it's an idea I've had in my mind for like I don't know, like 2 months now, ever since I did the last YCH, more or less. There we go. And I know some of you definitely remember that one. There we go. I like how much more asymmetrical this one. Ooh, wait, idea. What if there are gemstones inside the necklace as though they were fruit? Or like berries or something. I think that could be neat. Try that. There we go. Lovely. So we have the general kind of leaf motif going on here. I like the idea of using plants for this one. I'm not sure why. I think it just kind of fits. that reflection there. Actually, that's refraction. My mistake. Okay. So actually, I think for these up close, I should make the details a lot sharper. So I'm going to be using my pencil brush for these, because these are going to be very much apparent. And actually, the line weight should be on the bottom because the light is coming from above. So this should look a bit more like this. There we are. Bit more refraction there. Clear that up. Perfect. Now, I'm not entirely sure. I want to mix simplicity and like a really, really stylized look for this one. But I want to keep it simple. Okay, I have an idea that I think would be neat. So start with her chest, I think. Oh yeah, this is definitely where I had some trouble in the last one, but that last stream was a very good learning experience because I actually figured out how the fisheye lens looks on this kind of perspective a bit better. Okay, that's generally the kind of shape we want to go for. So we'll clean that up, make that smaller, widen very slightly, and hold that there. How's that look? Okay, the right side is a bit too big. Much better. And I think I'll raise that teensy bit more as well. So the idea I had was maybe have some kind of comfortable, kind of like yoga pantsy kind of look, because that's generally what's really popular these days. But really kind of playing on it with the details. So there's a lot of this shape in this. I should probably... How would this look? No. Ooh, yeah, actually, maybe that might be good. Let's try something like that. Bring that up here. Carry that over here. And then, you must teach me your clothing design ways. You always do such an amazing job on them. Well, thank you, Noah. A lot of it is kind of just down to vibe. Okay, so the trick that I usually use, and like that's generally like really just subconscious, like I don't even think about it most of the time, is just shape language. Like generally speaking, if you want anything to kind of look really appealing, you really got to hamper down on shape language. So like for example, like for me personally, hang on, let me get this leaf down. So one of the reasons I really like character design is because generally speaking, what you can do with characters is like by just using a couple shapes, you can get a really easy to draw character and you can say a lot and you can kind of give like a motif that you want. And you can basically do the same thing that you can there, but with clothing. And so like let's look at this for example. So I'm using a lot of teardrop shapes because the character I was given has a lot of curves on her. It's like the hair is really curly. So first of all, the hair is really curly, so I'm going to be using this shape a lot. And her build is a bit stocky, so I want to match that. And so the two shapes I've kind of figured out are this kind of teardrop shape and this kind of rectangle shape, and so I want to accentuate that throughout the drawing as I continue with the clothing. And so the design should kind of focus on these two shapes. Generally, you don't want too many shapes in whatever it is you're drawing. You want to keep it simple, just like anything. And speaking of simple, actually, I think I have an idea for this. I think I'm going to keep this like so. And I have an idea to actually play on her slightly kind of broader shoulders up here. It's fascinating, but it makes perfect sense. Yeah, I mean, like, pretty much everything is just shape design. I mean, I'm sure you could say that about colors and whatnot, but I found that if you can just get the right shape, it generally works really successfully. Because a lot of people, that is what they struggle with, just getting the right shape. Some people might be colorblind, some people might not. agree on like the cultural distinctions between colors or something like that, or people just have different, you know, memories and whatnot of certain colors. So color design is not always like cut and dry. This is what will be what. But if you can get the right shape, it's generally pretty solid on how what you want comes across. Hang on, something about this is peculiar. Oh, yeah, the right side is still too big. There we go. Much better. Okay, that's like perfect, I think now. Yeah, that's perfect. Okay, so what I think I'm going to be doing for this one is I'm actually going to lower this so her neck is a bit more visible. Pull this over here. So I'm going to do black ribbed fabric, I think. The kind that you'd see on like a sweater or something. Like so. I think I'm going to pull that all the way over. So I want this look to be kind of elegant. So I'm going to use a lot of thinner lines for some of the detailed parts, like this. Actually, you know what? I should probably just... Yeah, I should just use what I already have here. Let me take the alpha lock off. There we go. Much better. Okay, so I can yank this off, actually. And I'm going to adapt this to what I have now. Up here. Perfect. Okie dokie. So let's see. Nice, easy, relaxing day today. It's so cold. I don't know how cold it is for you guys, but we got hit with a really ridiculous, like, snowstorm. Got kind of nuts. There we go. This is exactly what I wanted. And so here, I think it's hot now for you. Hey. Well, that's certainly good at least. Believe me. I wish it was a little warmer here. It was so nice the other day, but I couldn't really go outside because it was just so cold. Okay, so here's where I want to have fun with this design. So what I was thinking was I actually have the dense part of the sweater on the arms, like so, kind of puffed out as the hands come down. So like, it's like an open kind of design sweater and such. Maybe going across the stomach, maybe not, I'll have to see. Ooh, wait, actually, I just got an idea. Let me see. Let me quickly nab this off. So I think I got an idea for this that I think could be kind of fun. Where, what if this is like one piece of clothing, kind of like, you know, leotard type thing, and then the sweater motif kind of continues throughout, kind of raised up at the hips here. Yeah, let's try that. Something like that, maybe? Or would that be a bit too cumbersome? Okay, I'll just leave this for now. But going back to the arms, I think I can just do this right now. Yeah, actually, this should be my oil brush. It's in the distance, it's a lot softer. And the brush size should be a lot bigger. There we go. What shape did I have for this before? Okay. So the fabric should actually probably be draping over it a little as it kind of folds across, like so. There we go, and then we have the bend in the arm there. I'm not sure if that's quite as apparent as I'd like it to be, but I think that works just fine for now. Let's add some depth down here. Now, does she have like kind of fuzzy shoulders? Very slightly. Okay. I'll integrate that in a little bit. There we go. Wonderful. Okay, so then I think I'll do that for the other shoulder too. It should look something like this because that's generally the direction that's going in. Perfect. Okay, this is a good solid base right now. I don't want to make this too generic, so I think I'm going to add as many details as I can, kind of breaking up the extremities of the fabric. So let's see how that goes. Here we go. Yeah, something like so. I think I'll just really hard shade this part over here. Just make it apparent where the necklace is going. That's so tiny. Yeah, it'd be going up here, I think. Here we are. Let me get the oil brush. Add in some very minor shading here. I don't want to add too much of this line work shade because we're going to be adding actual shading later, and it's gonna kind of overstimulate if it's too much. There we go. Okay, perfect. So I want to keep this part of the fabric as smooth as possible because I really want the contrast between the really detailed like parts of the fabric and the really simple parts of like the arms or the legs that are going to be a lot smoother. So I'm going to stick to that for now. And so this should come down here and that should go into the fabric like that, and then this is where the sleeve begins. Actually, no, our shoulder should be kind of pulling in a little bit more here. Does that make sense? There we go, much better. So here we go. So this part of the fabric is going to be a little more complicated. Let me see. Let's try this. Here we are. Actually, there we go. It's a bit cleaner. Okay, so the mistake I made last time was I kept trying to redo the arms, essentially, which is what I was having trouble with. So I'm not going to do that this time. I think I'm just going to use exactly what I have drawn right here, and they'll just like modify after the fact. Yeah. Because I designed this with this perspective in mind, so I shouldn't stray too far from that. Let's try this again. There we go. Now, this fabric should be kind of going over like so. There we go. This is exactly what I wanted. Okay, this is much better. Okay, so it's not super clear what I'm doing here right now, but what I want to do is I want to make the bend between the elbow and the hand really, really, really obvious. And that's going to take a bit of time, most likely. It's a little bit tough. Let me try this. Okay, so I need to make this look kind of like puffy, but without overdoing some parts of the arm. Okay, this needs to be more reduced for it to have the look I want. Much better. Okay, there we go. It's way cleaner too. Some more fabric folds, I think. Actually, more like that. Yes, this is much better. Okay, and now I just need to make this part of the arm look very much like it's bending a lot more. There we go. I think this is good. Okay, I'll leave that there for now, and then I'll make it clear that there's a bit of a sleeve here. So we'll go with like the kind of sweater paws look here. Very slightly clean that up, just touch it up a bit. Excellent. Perfect. Here we go. I think I'll clean up this part up here too while I'm at it. Much better. There we go. I want this part of the sleeve to be very apparent. Excellent. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I think I'll make this part a bit bigger just so it fits. Like so. And I'll make the sleeve a teensy bit smaller just to compensate. Let me change the music up a bit. Alright, perfect. Actually, I think I can turn the volume up a little bit on that. There we go. Okay, let's get to work. Actually, hang on. Something instrumental, maybe. Much easier to focus. Okay, so for this part of the arm bending inwards, this to me says it needs to be bent in a way that is much more apparent that the arm is on perspective and not just like straight ahead. So I think I can mess around with that a little bit. Much better. Okay, perfect. I really like how this is coming out so far. How would that look? Should I go with the original plan? That does look nice. Okay. Okay, this is where the challenge comes in. I'm gonna check in with the commissioner real quick and see what they think so far. Actually, you know what? I have a little bit more time. I think I might start with her head a bit. So she's got a bit of a snout, which means her face is going to be much more this teardrop shape mixed with the rectangle at the end. Okay, I can do that, I think. How would that look at this angle? Yeah, I think that looks alright so far. Her nose would probably be a bit bigger just to really sell that angle, and I'm going to keep this blurred look I've got on it. There we go. And this muzzle should be much more defined in the kind of squarey shape it has. So it should come back here. And her ears are that kind of shape here. Okay, actually, I think I'll hold off on the face too much here. Let me see. Her lip should kind of come across here, I think. Like so. Now her hair seems to come across the sides and that will go over her cheeks, so I'm not going to focus too much effort over here. Alright, let's see, how does that look? Actually, I think I need to, I need to round this out a bit more here. Much better. Okay, this side of her arm needs to be a little bit bigger, I think. And I think I gotta pull her hand out a teensy bit more here. So let's work on that. I think that should be good. And I'll put that down there, and then I'll make her arm a teensy bit bigger. The ittiest of bits. Here we go. What layer is that on? No. Much better. Okay, so far I think the angle is quite right. There we go. Okay, now I'll send the work in progress, I think. See what they think. Ugh, my foot is numb. I'm sitting on it. Okay, so I think I want something blocky on this hip to balance everything out. Some kind of bow or something. Ooh, or maybe like a purse. That'd be good, I think. Just to kind of give this shape some kind of... some distinction between where the legs are and then where the back part is. So I think I'm gonna add a purse here. Ooh, hang on. Yeah, something maybe a bit more messenger bag-esque, actually, than anything. where the tie clip will be, and then that's going to come up over the shoulder. So I'm actually going to have to shrink the size of it because it is a little bit big. Ooh, that's going to cut out some of the detail. Do I want that? Actually, yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, okay, I can make this smaller. So I'll have it a little wider, I think. Yeah, like that. That's good. Oh, wait, actually, I think the angle would be a little bit lower than this if it's a fisheye. Actually, yeah, I think this should be like this. Yeah, much more like that. There we go, and then the clip will go here. That's what's going to hold in the strap. There we go. Oh, hey, Mark. What's up? Stream is going on today. There we go. Trying to get this handbag kind of, or this like messenger bag she's got kind of in the right angle. Very tough, and like this kind of fisheye lens kind of look. So I think it's gonna have to be something like this, I believe. Hey, not a ton happening. Hey, well, at least it's not too busy. That's good. Yeah, there we go. That gives much better direction for where she's headed. Okay, and I think I'm gonna continue with the leaf motif here by adding like, instead where the strap comes down, there's gonna be some like really, really fancy like leaves over where the clip is. Like so. Here we are. And I should add some shading here while I'm at it, because this is going to be a kind of a dark area at this angle. There we go. I think I'll even add a little more of that leaf kind of look over it here. Around the back. Actually, hang on, let me make the fabric come down here first, because it's the sweater. It should be right there. And I think I'm actually going to make this bag a little bit bigger. And a bit of slight kind of part of this over. And I think I'll even add a leaf pattern kind of going across the, what would be, I'm assuming, some kind of leather. There we go. And I'll even integrate this a little more with this little brooch thing here. Actually, I'll make this a lot bigger too while I'm at it. Little brush is very cute. Oh, I'm glad you think so. See, okay. I'm just trying to see if there's anything major I need to really work on here. I don't think so. Okay, so I had the idea to kind of have the same thing I had with the sweater, kind of like over the legs of sorts. Kind of like sweatpants, maybe? I'm not sure quite how to describe this, or at least what I have in mind, but I'm gonna give it a try. Let me actually try her eyes real quick. So they're very like almond shaped. Okay, they're kind of small. And she has a mole under her left eye. So let me try and get that down. So I think the shape would be something like eh. You set this angle. Yeah, it would be like that. Okay. Yeah, okay, here we go. So for eyes, I like to use this kind of ink brush I've got going. So I think this one is just generally a little bit more easy to work with for these kinds of really, really, really identifiable shapes. Actually, did I get her eye right here? Let me see. Let me check that again. Okay. It could be a bit bigger. It could be a bit flatter as well. Let's try that. Here we go. Here we are. Now, what shape are her eyebrows? Okay, kind of fancy, kind of thin. Just like so. Does this look right? Okay, she should have a bit more eyelash here, I think. I think her smile should be a little bigger. There we go. And I think I'll fix up her eyebrows too while I'm at it. You know what, actually, I think the mouth is going to be a little bit tricky. Because she kind of doesn't have... Her smiles are usually kind of small. Let me see, what would be good for her? Hmm. Know what to do. Okay, this is... I'm trying to think of exactly what the hair is going to kind of look like. How should her hair be for this? Okay, I think I have an idea. So, ankle keepers smell kind of like this. Tongue visible very slightly here. Gonna have the teeth a little bit visible too. And her bottom lip right there. Victoria 3, yeah, I know. I had it running in the background. I was like, why is my PC so slow? And I totally forgot to shut it off. Does that look right for her? I think the lip is a little too much. There we go. Perfect. The faces have looked so nice with the fisheye lens, with the extra detail and such. Oh, yeah, unironically, I think the biggest reason I wanted to do this really, really funky, like, fisheye kind of pose style is just generally because I wanted to do a lot more detail on the eyes and, like, and the hair and whatnot, because I was just having trouble fitting that in my normal stuff. There we go. That looks pretty good, actually, I think. I'm gonna cheat a little for this, because this is gonna be a really hard angle to replicate. Oh my goodness. It's back to 2011, I see. Here we go. So I think this would actually be a little bit more like so. There we go. That's perfect. You know, plus I also like a challenge, like with drawing stuff every now and then. And fisheye lenses are really, really, really hard to get down right. So I was like, yeah, why not? Let's try it. Maybe not the smartest idea for the first magazine, but, you know, you do what you can. You work past it. That's what I've got here for sure. Okay, her ears are gonna be a bit of trouble because they are quite large. Actually, never mind. I think that's perfect. Well, I spoke too soon. Yeah, actually, I think that looks okay. Let me see. Is there anything major I could do better here? Just before I start going nuts with her ears. Okay, earring for sure. Yeah, that's gotta go in. This kind of gem shape here, I think for sure has to be here. And I'm going to continue with the leaves here as like the central motif. Actually, no, even better. Teardrop. Same as the kind of necklace pendant thing she has going on. I think I'm going to lower that too while I'm at it. To here. Okay. So fur ears are kind of fun because there's actually an opportunity to do dual piercings in a lot of these. Hang on, so I'm thinking like rectangle across. This one is simple. And then, oh no, maybe not actually. 2 leaves like that. That's kind of fun. I kind of like that. Maybe just 1 leaf. 2 leaves. Like so. There we go. And then another gemstone up here. Then we can put our other ear over there, and I think I don't technically have to show the earrings, but I think it would be relatively visible here. So I'm going to leave that just for posterity, but I think the hair is going to cover that in a moment. So, let's see. Now I sent Dizzy a message to see if they thought I needed to change anything. They haven't quite responded just yet. Oh my goodness, it's so dark in here. Damn, that was crazy. It's like already sundown. Okay, so her hair. Her hair's gonna be a little tough. I'm not used to drawing curly hair, but I'll do my best. So this should actually probably go down in opacity. So, is her forehead usually clear? I do like this one. The one on the right a bit more. For this specific style, I think I'm gonna go with that, probably. Yeah, it's a bit too much curl. No, too thick. It doesn't go down all the way. Okay, yeah. There you go. That makes a bit more sense. Okay. Maybe not. Maybe we'll... no, that shape doesn't work. And then... and then... and then something like that, I guess. Okay, yeah, that makes way more sense. Ooh. Actually, wait, no. No, it's fine. And then in the background... yeah, there we go. Okay, that's way nicer. Alright, we'll go with that. This is going to be the basic shape we're going to be using for this. And it gives a bit of an opportunity to make the top of her head a little more... how's that looking? Okay, and something like that, maybe. Teeny bit more over the edge. Yeah, okay, that's perfect. Sometimes you just gotta figure out the shape. Yeah, it's so dark so soon around here. Also, you're doing good with that curly bit, despite not usually doing it. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm not used to curly hair, but, you know, challenges are fun sometimes. So let's see. Oh, it's more wavy than any... oh, no, it's a little curly. I'll figure it out. Oh, hey, Dizzy responded. Okay, they don't seem to think there's any changes needed, so we can just continue as we were going. I don't think there's anything... oh, did I get her mole? Oh, I actually duplicated her mole. Let me fix that real quick. There we go. Ooh, I could give her nails. I didn't give her nails, actually. before I forget. So one time change. She'll use one working. Oh yeah, no worries. I already changed that up. Okay, no worries, Dizzy. Here, let's see. Okay, her hair. The wave comes down in like a 3S shape almost. Okay, let's try this. So this should probably be like that, I think. And then it should coil inwards over here and then kind of come up over this. Ooh, I actually might be able to get the whole piece done today. We're doing really well for time. Here we go. Let's accentuate some parts of her hair a bit more. And I think I'll get some of the oil brush in there too, just to blur it out a bit. Okay, hang on, how's that look? Let me lower that even more. Okay, that looks good. Let me see. How's her hair looking? Okay, so the roots will come from over here. And then I think I'll add this little tuft here, and it'll be coiling in on itself a bit. My goodness, why is all the music so dramatic? I found some like copyright-free background music, and it's all really dramatic. Hang on. Okay, let's see. So this here, that's gonna come in here, and then that's the angle. Yeah, okay, I think I figured it out. There we go. Is that a little too much on that side? It's a little bit much. I think something more like this would be good. And then I can get the shine on her hair a little bit more. It's my color texture brush. There we go. You know, actually, I think she doesn't need that. Okay, we can come back to that later. No, this part is gonna be a little tricky. Yeah, don't mind the sound of a train coming in. That's my neighbors. I think. That was louder than usual. I think they're moving in, I don't know. Here we go. I'm used to that, yeah. Have you ever had one of those like professional upstairs neighbor moments where they like just kind of drop like a car or something and then the entire like everything just shakes? That's always real fun. Actually, no, it was fine just the way it was. Okay, what was this? Okay, I see now. Oh, I'm sniffling. That's not good. Here we go. little fun opportunity here to put even some more jewelry on her. Now I don't want to cover up the ear too much because I do want the ear to be visible. The cheek will probably be a bit more amenable to that. Getting the shape right. No, okay, I'm putting too much on that, actually. Let's try this again. So I think this tuft is throwing me off a little bit. What I need to do is I need to... Yeah, there we go. That makes a lot more sense. And then I'll get the oil brush. You know, actually, it's a little too big. I think this will just be fine, like so. Yeah, it's these curls that are really tough. This is probably the part that's going to take me the longest, honestly. Yeah, I want it to fit right with her cheek as well. Ooh, wait, actually. Let me try that. Yeah, it's gonna take a bit, but you know, you can't always rush some parts of the drawing. Let's see, how does that look? I do like that, actually. I think I'll keep that. And just to balance it out over here, I'll add like another curl. Okay, perfect. There we are. Let's see. Okay, let's try this. So her hair comes down from behind, then it comes over here, and then this should be a little more shaded. Something like that, maybe. Yep, that looks like a bob cut a bit more. So I think I'll just leave her hair kind of like this up here. And then this part is going to be tough. Because this is kind of at an opposing angle of where her hair is going. But I think I can get it right. It's definitely tough. I'm not used to this. But I'm going to give it a try. The old college try. Let's try this. How's this go? Oh yeah, I've been playing Vic 3 a lot more. I kind of figured out how to actually run my economy now. It was pretty fun. I think I had to play the same country like 20 times before I figured it out. That you actually have to build roads and stuff. Which I've been not doing for the longest time. And it kind of reminded me of that. So like when I first started playing like Hearts of Iron, yeah, things have changed a lot since. Yeah, you actually have to build like roads. But it's really funny because like the other few playthroughs, I was actually doing the other couple playthroughs. I was actually doing kind of fine up until around the 1840s ish. Then it really started going downhill. But it was funny as hell because when I was like, oh, there is like an option to just build roads. And like the millisecond I realized it, I was like, this is like this time I was playing like Hearts of Iron 4 with my friends like years ago. I was playing it and I was like, I don't even remember who I was playing, but I kept like managing to beat my friend in like a naval invasion or something. And he was like, what are you doing? It's like blah blah blah. Something I don't remember what he said, but like he asked me like if I was building any like cruisers or whatever, or like actually like where I was putting my like my naval deployments to manage to get him so frequently. And I was like, oh, you actually have to deploy the Navy? And so for like 2 years, I was playing Hoi 4 without ever like doing anything to the Navy. Like I didn't build any boats. I didn't even like tell the ships to go out anywhere. I would just do like naval invasions and like pray. And then that is how I found out that you're actually supposed to build things. I don't know. Figuring out I actually had to build roads in Vic 3 was kind of like that. It was really funny. Here we go. Okay, I think I've got the roots of her hair in a lot better. I think this is looking really good so far, actually. This is way better than I was expecting it to come out. A few small curls here and there. Yeah, no, that tuft needs to stay there. Load-bearing tuft. Okay, so I think I've kind of got her... I've got her look down pretty down pat. But she does have a... Okay, so this part kind of doesn't come down as much as I think it does. So she has like a much more elegant kind of look. It's not as messy as I thought it would be. It's very well taken care of. Okay, so like her hair would kind of be going over here. She has big wavy hair. You were doing a really good job of it. Thank you. I was wondering if I was like getting it right or whatnot, because I really like this kind of hair, but I've never been able to draw it. So this is like probably the first time I'm actually trying this. Let's see. Okay, this shade is throwing me off. I think I need to redo this line. This is way too depthy. It's very cool looking. Yeah, it is really nice looking. I've always had trouble with it because my mind just generally defaults to the bob shape of kind of like, oh, that's just how gravity works. And I forget that there's like, you know, curly hair exists. And it's very tough, but it's very rewarding if you can do it right, because the looks you can get, I mean, like, you know, like this artist definitely knows what they're doing, and this artist does as well. And like, it looks really nice. So I was trying to figure that out. Let's get her hair in. Yeah, I'll get the back part of her hair in too, actually, while I'm at it. Oh, wait, I think I figured it out. It's supposed to kind of like sine wave down. I think I get it now. I understand now. Okay, I can get rid of this. Okay. I think her head needs to be thinner to compensate for the width. Okay, let's try this. Very slightly thinner. She's a much more angular face. Okay, now her ear is just not going to be visible, so I can clean that up. Clean that up right there. And this ear won't be as visible, and then this will be cleaner, and then this cheek tuft. Can I get this cheek tuft to show? Actually, I kind of want this to be showing. Right there. Perfect. You know, actually, I'm going to erase this part of it just to have this part of the tuft showing. Oh, that looks really good, actually. I really like that. Oh, I'm actually really happy with how that's turning out. Okay, bit of cleanup here. This is coming along really well. I'm super glad. So, yeah, I was worried I was gonna be taking a little too long on the hair, but I think I actually, at the very least, I know I'm gonna be able to do the flats, like the colors, by the end of today. Her ears are okay. Okay. Ooh, wait. I kind of gotta get her eyebrow out of there. No rush. Happy to wait. No worries. I'm definitely not in a rush. Don't worry. If I was in a rush, I'd be going nuts. But I just generally work kind of a little bit quick. I like getting through things. It's fun because then I get to go on to the next thing. It's also much better if it's like kind of quick and efficient. But I am definitely taking my time on this hair because I want this to be perfect. Ooh, wait, I see now. Oh, okay. I see where the trouble with this is. Yeah, it's gonna be hard to depict. It's definitely worth it. Yeah, for this kind of hair, it absolutely is because it's such a definable part of her look. I really want to get it right. And get her eyebrow on. And her other eyebrow. While I'm at it. Here we go. Very fair. Everyone has their own speed. Absolutely no complaints with the level of attention you're giving the piece so far. Oh, well, I really appreciate that. Thank you, Dizzy. Here we go. Right there. Perfect. And I'll just kind of clean this up a bit so it's not too noticeable. It's copied off. There we go. Okay, so the part that's going to be a little bit tough is this back part of her hair. I'm going to see what I can do for that. Okay, her eyebrows are going to be on a different layer for now. How is this going to work? Actually, wait, I'm going to connect it like this. This back part, how is that going to work? Actually, how she look already? Oh, I got to do her legs. Right. So just based on, like, intuition, this is the part that's going to be visible, and then this is the part that's going to be kind of draped a bit, or at least a bit more visibly draped, and then there's going to be the bouncy part at the top behind. And then this is probably going to have a bit less shading with it. I have no idea. Yeah, something like that. Bit taller. Like that? No, like that. Okay. So I think, let me get this shape down first. And I'll make it clear so that there's like a strand kind of running the length of it. This is where the hair is going. Perfect. And then the looser parts of the end would probably... No, wait a minute. There's a fisheye lens. So actually, her hair would be a cone shape, and it would actually be going inwards. So because we're looking at her head from this angle, like this is us, and we're kind of looking down at her face, which is here, the hair would be kind of going like so. So that would mean it's actually conical. So here, and then coming down here, like so. Okay, I think I have a better idea of how this works now. So it would be more like this is where the end of her hair would be. And then it would kind of travel upwards like that a bit more. Until the top of the cone, which would be there. And it would be kind of coming down here. And then I can add some kind of, I think I'll add like a headband here just to balance it out. Maybe even bigger, actually. Maybe just like that. Perfect. Okay, I think that's much better. Now the tricky part is getting this to blend in correctly with the parts of the hair that we already have, but I think I have an idea. I think I'm just going to darken this part. I'm going to completely shade the parts that are, or should be non-visible. It's like here, for example. This is a good part to kind of color in. Very fair. Let's see. Yeah, like that, I think. And that'll give us some nice depth as well with the parts of her cheek that are kind of coming over here. There we are. Wonderful. And I'll just clean this up a bit too. I want to see if I can add a little bit more jewelry here and there, because I think that would kind of balance out some of the parts that are going to be really monotonously colored. So like the hair, for example, I want to see if I can add something there to kind of break up the big shape of it. Here we go. So I've got her hair kind of traveling back. I just need to make that movement very, very clear. And I should probably add a bit more depth down here just to block this out. And you know what, while I'm at it, I'll clean that up there. I can even add like two little flecks of hair at the end here to kind of make it. What is going wrong here? Oh, it needs to be longer. That's what. This actually needs to go up this way. What happens if I just fill that? Will that look alright? Yeah, kinda. Yeah, actually, wait, let me raise that up a bit. I think that's good. There we are. And the back of her hair should just be coming over here. And I'll add like a hair tie right there. Or some kind of band. I think a band would make more sense. And we can add some of the leaves up here that we were working with before. Actually, I think this part should be a bit more blurry, so I'm going to use the oil brush I was using. Let's clean that up a bit. Can I make this part of her hair a little longer? Really want the curves to be visible. Yeah, that might just be fine. I'm gonna keep trying a little bit more. She has a very distinctive kind of look with her hair. I really want that to come across. Quite right. Yeah, I think I want that to look a bit longer. Which means it's a very kind of slight edit here. But I think a necessary one. Okay, let's try it. So you can reuse parts of this actually, because this isn't too big of a deviation from what there was already. This is gonna change for sure. This too. Clean that up. How does that look? And what did it look like before? Not sure if I like the longer one or not. I feel like the shorter one makes a little more sense with the fisheye. Yeah, the shorter one makes more sense. Okay, we'll stick with the shorter one. Now back to the rest of her. So she has a bit of eyeshadow. I can add that in color later. Okay, yeah, her head is good. I think I'll clean this part up here. Both look nice, but I agree, shorter seems to fit better. Yeah, I think it's just the specific angle this lens is at. Yeah, the lens would make that look a bit less kind of in-depth, I suppose, is the best way to put it. So, I can just add the tip of her ear here, just to... I'll have to remember that is her ear, though, later. Yeah, I'll add the tip of her ear back here. Okay, so now I can just finish up with the rest of her, which is down here. Okay, but just super quick, what does this look like? If I just make that dark, I kind of like that. I'll have to outline her eyebrow a little. You've done her hair so very lovely. Oh, thank you. I always try my best with hair, because hair is very make it or break it. And I really want it to look good, especially with her, because she has very defined hair. Here we go. Okay, I'll leave this part dark, just to add a bit more depth on this side. And I'll sharpen this out a bit more. Much better. Okay, that's like, I really like this. I'm gonna try kind of glassy look with her eyes later too while I'm at it. Your still emphasizes hair well. It's very fun. Oh, well, thank you. Okay, so this is the part I've been thinking about for a while. I kind of had a look in mind I wanted to try for this, but it's gonna be tough. I know that for sure. What? Oh, that's the eyebrow. I got extra eyebrows for, okay. Yeah, it's gonna be a little tough. Okay. So the first idea I had was something like this, where it's like a pair of sweatpants, but they're kind of draped low. But the best way I can explain it would be person is like this, and the pants are kind of leaning over, and the leotard kind of looks just going up the side like that. And so the pants would be hanging off just around where the hip dip down to the top of the femur would be. So like top of the thigh here. I'm not sure how that would translate to this drawing. So I think it would have to be here, and it would have to go like inwards, and it would have to come out like here. But I kind of need the direction a bit more, like to be like this to make sense with this angle. Something like that. Okay, so I know for sure this line is correct. This makes the most sense for this angle. I'm not sure about is if this one is more correct. Okay, you know what? Fuck it. We'll just try it. Style-wise, I think it's very interesting, but it might be tough to show in the fish eye. Curious to try it. Well, you know, if it doesn't work out, we can always just try something else. That's the fun part about drawing. Nothing is ever irreparable. I want to give it a try. It's been on my mind for a bit. Ever since I kind of started it, I kind of had the idea of that shape. But yeah, let's try it. Why not? Okay. Now if we're looking down at this, you know, let me just go nuts real quick on the shape. No, okay, not that shape. Not that shape. Maybe this one. Maybe that one. Oops, that's on the same layer as her eyebrows. Whoops. Or... Ooh, wait, I did have another idea where maybe the sweater comes in and it's really fluffy, kind of draping down. It goes from smooth to really fluffy at the bottom. This could also work. This has a similar profile to what I was thinking. And then maybe this as well. Actually, no, that kind of... Let me try this, actually. This is kind of very close to what I had in mind. Lots of good ideas. Well, much obliged. Although I'm not quite sure which one I'm gonna go with. But I do appreciate that, thank you. Okay, we'll try this. I'm gonna go with the kind of half sweatpants kind of look I had in mind. Because I do really like this idea. Something about it makes me think it would fit her, but I'm not quite sure what. I know this part would have to go. Yes, this would have to be minimized. Because I don't want it, I want it to look casual without looking like too suggestive. So maybe it would have to come over like this. Something like that. Let me try that. Okay, let me try that again. Okay, so this line looks good, but I know I can make it look a little better. Something like this, maybe. So that way the pelvis is still kind of visible under this this waistband. Neat. Thank you, Mark. Yeah, I do think that this could work. This is close. This is close to what I have in mind. But I think I like the waistband shape in this one a bit more. I just wish it wasn't so low. So what if I bring it a bit higher? And then I make it clear it's kind of going over the side again. Right there. Okay, it kind of works. Let's go back to this. Okay, let me try and detail this one. Okay, now one of the things I did want to try was adding like a little bow on the side here to balance out the purse she's kind of got in hand there. But I think I could just settle with like a tie here from her sweatpants. Ooh, wait a second. That's an interesting idea. Okay. What if... Actually, no, it's the perfect shape already. Hang on, what if... Hang on, I'm cooking something up here. I don't quite know how to put this into words. But what if instead... And then this kind of went all the way down here. Perhaps not quite as wide as that. Okay, so I'm thinking like a dress skirt, but the dress part is actually transparent, and that's what's holding maybe the leaf texture across the whole body, or I don't quite know how to explain what I have in mind. Be here? Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna try that. And then like, it gives the image of the kind of leotard look, but she's actually not wearing anything nearly as like, as revealing as that, but it has the look of it. It's what I kind of want to try. Because I would want this to be like something comfortable. Okay, let me try that. Yeah, let me try this. But I think this line needs to be... Yeah, it needs to follow the lens a bit more, so it needs to be more like this. And I think I'm gonna add like a teardrop kind of, like a taper going inwards. Just to continue this motif I'm going with here. Okay, and just for the hell of it, I'm gonna add a seam going across, like a fabric seam, just to hold it. Let's try that. Oh, I do like, okay, I really like that. That looks really good. Okay, I think I have the idea that I want in mind, and it would give me space to put the bow thing I kind of wanted to see, so let's try that. Oh god, that's what I love about this brush, this kind of oil brush. I can line over something and still have it kind of look transparent. It's very nice. Oh, I really like that. I really like that, actually. Would that be too much? That might be too much, but this up here might not be. Been forgetting to put this little JADE logo here and there. It might not be necessary though for all of them. Actually, no. Ooh, I'll put it on the purse. I think the purse would look way better with this kind of motif on the side. Ooh, even better. Wait, maybe going down the strap. Let me try this. Yeah, something like that. Okay, I think I can make that look a bit nicer. Whipping out the typography skills for this one. Okay, let's try it. So because we're contrasting hard rectangles with these much more elegant shapes, I'm going to make this one very blocky. This lettering kind of really blocky, yeah. But I think I'm also going to squish it down. It's good contrast. Oh, I'm glad you think so. Yeah, really want to keep this blocky. So I can actually kind of cheat a little bit with this and just yank that down here. We got 4 letters, J, A, D, and E. And so I can actually create a bit of a pattern here. It'll be a lot easier to kind of move around with. It'll be much easier to kind of work with. So it's J. This would be A. Oh no, bit lower. This would be A. This would be D. Oh my goodness, have it again. This would be D. And then this would be E. So let me try that. Okay, not quite. That looks a bit more like a dingbat than anything. Make the bottom one a bit more apparent, I guess. Worst comes to worst, I'll just use like a font for this. Okay, that's getting somewhere. I kind of like how I had before, actually. Okay, let me try that again. Let me try this a bit more finely. Some of these letters. Oh, wait, I see the issue here. So I keep trying to make the text small when it really should just be really big. Let's try that. Bit taller on the D. Okay, I like that a bit more. And just to keep it clean, I'll run a line through the dark parts. Like so, and then I'll reline that over, just so it's a bit more readable. There we go, much better. And just a bit of cleanup. Actually, let me use my weld brush for this. This is already kind of far away, so it would be blurred naturally. And I'll add a teardrop up here. Okay, I really like that. Okay. Honestly, yeah, I kind of feel like this is really quickly approaching the done state, and then I can just move on to colors. Because I do really like how this is turning out. No, triangle doesn't make sense in this one. Yeah, this would be kind of up here, like so. I don't think there's anything major. It looks real good. I'm very glad to hear that, that's for sure. I don't think there's anything too major I need to change here. Some fabric bending, like on the under part where the pants are going to be. Yeah, because this is going to be another smooth kind of expansive fabric. Oh, I could add like pockets. Like really comically big pockets. Nah, it's a little silly. I'm very happy with this so far. Oh, excellent. Very glad to hear that. I need something to balance out this part down here, but honestly, wait, what does this look like with the background? Oh yeah, this is gonna be balanced already. Never mind. But you know, okay, no, something needs to be added here. Okay, well, I'm totally right. Something does need to be added. Her tail needs to be added. I completely forgot about that. Mark is gonna get on my case about that. There's a bit of a running gag on this channel where I constantly forget to put the tails for characters. So there we go. I can add her tail right here. Perfect spot for it. There we go. Wonderful. Now, does that look right with the lens? Kinda. Yeah, there he is. I knew that was. I knew that was coming. The bottom might be after it. There we go. Much better. Yeah. That's good. Anything? There's a bit of empty space I don't quite like here, but that might just be me being a little too perfectionistic with this, but I think that should be good. Yeah, okay. I think I'll shrink her down a bit. I'll do that later. Okay, so she should be good to go to colors now. I'm very happy with how she turned out here, actually. Are there any other lines I can borrow from this? No, okay. Yoink. Excellent. Alright, so now into color. This part should be a lot easier. I already have all the colors in mind. So this is going to be pretty fast by comparison. Oh, actually, wait, no, I should probably do a little bit of cleanup on some of these lines. Is there anything that's going to cause a problem? No. Oh, yeah, this might. Okay. That has got to be fixed. Yeah, a bit more there. No, that's fine. This is fine too. Yeah, okay, this should be good. And then watch, there's gonna be like a single pixel that yeah, I knew it. Why is it always like here? There we go. Okay, that's much better. Good. Good. Okay, perfect. She looks so great. Oh, well, thank you, dude. I really appreciate that. I cannot give enough thanks. Seriously, huge thank you to you for grabbing this slot. I've been periodically worried with this one that it's just not going to sell well because it's kind of just like not something that would be in particularly high demand, I think. But I really appreciate you grabbing a slot. Okay, it's the fun part. So here's the idea I had in mind for this. So it's going to be really, really high contrast between white kind of creams, and I think it's a very fun idea. Yeah, I did too. I really, it's, like I said, it's something I've had in my mind for a very long time. And by, well, maybe not very long time, just a couple months, really. Very unique presentation. Oh, thank you. It's something that's been on my mind, and I was like, this would be cool to do. And I want to see if I can make it profitable too, as well. Instead of just like, oh, this is my project that I'm gonna be, you know, like, oh, sad artist about. But no, I wanted to see if I can make this profitable. So I kind of made it with that explicit idea in mind because it's something I enjoy and I want to, you know, I want to be able to enjoy it for fun too, like consistently. So having a go at it. Super Zuberini, IMO for me in particular, just an unlucky time with all my gift shopping. Yeah, I get you. It's a very, very, very expensive time right now. There we go. Okay. So the sweater is going to be white. What kind of bacterial music is this? Oh, that's kind of sweet. Okay, never mind. Now what to do here? Make your sleeves a little darker. So I'm going to lighten this actually. It's a little dark. Less contrast too. Way less contrast actually. Yeah, it's a much better color. Okay, let me try this again. Down here. Okay, that makes a bit more sense. And now what color are shoulders? I like this cream color. Ooh, I might have to rework the sweater then. I think her face is also this color. Yeah, the bottom part at least. Okay, let me just make it clear where everything is here. Now the sweater might have to be dark or pink, I think. Ooh, wait, actually, this golden yellowish kind of look is really nice, actually. I think I'm gonna go with that. But I'll accentuate the hues a lot more. Whoa, 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 wait. Ooh, that's kind of nice. I kind of like that. Okay, wait. Hold up. I'm getting distracted. What if I do this? And then I make this lower part similar. Much more like a nylonish color. No, okay. I'll leave that white for now. Actually, no, I'll leave it dark for now. Because I have an idea I might want to try in a sec. Okay, so let's go back to her face. That's a nice song. Okay, it's pretty consistently this cream color all throughout. So I'll try to be relatively minimal on the gradient for her lower face, actually. A bit more saturation, very slightly warmer, okay. And then This is the kind of grayish-brown part of her fur, and then that's going to come over the nose, and then that goes over the eye. Okay. This should be fun. Oh yeah, this is gonna be fun. This is the part that I was kind of excited for. So her face has a really cool opportunity for some detailing, I think. Because I just really like this shape kind of going up. Okay, so it does go over her eyes. Like so. Okay, then her eyes are going to be that, and then her eyeshadow. Okay, her eyeshadow could be fun. I'm going to try that. Should I get my watercolor brush for that? She a bit less exaggerated, more like so. Ooh, I really like that look, actually. Here we go. Try this again, and then I'll bring this color here. To really exaggerate that kind of like smolder she has a bit. And then what color is her hair? Yeah, let me snap that real quick. Oh wow, her hair's a lot darker than I thought it was. Okay, this part should be easy. I kind of made my job a little easy here without realizing it. Okie dokie, hair gradient. Now insofar I can see her hair actually is like a very dark brown. So I'm gonna see if I can play off that a little bit with this gradient. I'm not sure if I should go light to dark or dark to light. I'll try like this. And while I'm at it, I think I'll darken these lines just so it's a bit more visible. So I think her face is okay so far. I feel like I'm missing something though. Oh, right. Yeah. That would do it, wouldn't it? Yeah, her mouth. Okay. Silly me. So let me get her eye color in actually real quick. I think that's called the sclera, I believe. Oh, that looks really nice. Actually, I really like how she looks here. You know what? Actually, I need to have a consistent color here. Oh, that's much better. Yeah, I can shade that later. Okay, so if the majority of her face is going to be that lower color. Ooh, wait a minute. No, I didn't see that. Oh, let me try that actually. So this brown actually goes a lot lower than I thought too. Which gives a fun little opportunity to give her a bit more depth underneath her eyes. And kind of space it out too, maybe a little, just barely under her eyes, but yeah. Definitely. Here we go. Okay, actually, I think I'm going to keep that sharp for now, and then I'm going to mess with this gradient a bit more. Because I think if the majority of that is going to be the color of her face, then that is what I need to work around. Okay, here we go. Is her inner ear fluff the same? Yeah, it is. Okay, so I can probably Just add a bit of depth, I'll make it that color. Oh, wait, I did not want to grab the eyes. There we go. Now make a bit of a change here. Oh, I really like that. It's very slightly less cream colored, but I think I can up the saturation on that. Okay, I'll keep that for now, actually. You know what, maybe... Ooh, that's nice. There we go. And then for her ears... I can do that, I think. Or, you know, even better, I can do that. Okay, her hair needs to be a bit more high contrast. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try really accentuating the brown. And then really playing on the darks. Like that. Yeah. I like that. Okay, yeah, dark to light is much better here. Okay, and as for her nose... Yeah, good question. What am I going to do with her nose? You know, I think I'm going to use this color, actually. Oh, silly me. That's not even in that layer. That's a bit too dark. You know, actually, that kind of looks okay. I think I'll leave it like that for now. I am going to need to make her eyebrows a little bit more visible, though. That's for sure. Okay, so going down to the sweater. How much darker can I make this without it being too dark? Alright, I'll make the lines all one color, just so I have a better frame of reference here. Lighten her hair a little bit, and I think I'm going to increase the contrast on the brown parts of her fur. Oh, wait, actually. I do like that. Okay, I think that looks good. So I think what's going to end up happening with her is she's going to have a bit more of a yellow motif kind of going on. Oh, that's a very nice combination. Oh, I really like that. I know that was entirely by accident. Ooh, I love it when that happens. That's really fun. Okay, let's try this a bit more. Yeah, that was just total chance. Okay. Oh, and that's perfect, because that's going to contrast super nicely with the silvers. And it'll make the whites stand out a lot more, too. Okay, so I'm going to start with these leaves here, and I was pretty sold straight off the bat that these are going to be silver, so I'm going to stick with that idea in mind. Random benefits of experimenting. Yeah, I mean, like, okay, like, unironically, I've done probably some of my best coloring when I just, like, grab the like, HST wheel, and then I just, like, randomly move it around like crazy. Because sometimes you just don't know what you want until you've seen it, so... That goes for a lot of things. Oh, that looks really good, actually. And then some of her earrings. These are also going to be this silver color, and her headband. That too. Oh, I really, really like this look she has going on now. Now, I don't think there's anything major for the jewelry I'm missing. Oh, almost forgot. Yeah, down here. This has got to change. That's metal here too. Okay, I think that's good. Now this is going to transition to a much more blue color. Honestly, no, it's probably purple would make more sense for this. And this kind of lighting. Yeah, like that. Because this is going to be more or less the same color as her eyes when I get to the gem parts of this. Which, you know what? Hell, let's just do that now. I can delete these random lines, I think, now. You don't really need these. Okay, so her eyes are like a very, very light kind of blue, silverish blue. So I'm going to go with that. Now, I kind of want to do what I did for Sybil, actually, in this one. Let me see. Let me grab that image. So I did something with her eyes. What did I do with her eyes again? Yeah, okay, let me check this out. What did I do with her eyes? Oh, okay, that's what I did with her eyes. Okay, that... I've been wondering what the hell I did for, like 2 days now. Because I tried to get another one to get, like, her eye, kind of... So what I did was... I actually made... Let me see, I made the outline of where her kind of pupil is the same color as... Oh, I like that. I think I'm gonna go with that heart shape. That's kind of cute. Yeah, and then I made that background color here where her eye is the same color-ish as her eye color itself. Something like this, maybe. Nah, not quite. More purple, I think. Has to be much more saturated. Yeah, like that. Oh, that's much better. So it almost looks like they're glowing, but like very, very slightly. It's very easy to miss. Speaking of which, I am gonna really accentuate this kind of silver look to her eyes. I really want that to come across. Which I think I can only do by going to green, no, yellow. It might have, yeah, be like a pink. Very desaturated pink. Right up there. It's a tiny little thing, and you wouldn't really notice it, but it does add a very slight amount to it. Okay, so I can add the glow to her eyes later when I start doing the shades. So for now, I'm going to add in those gems. Yeah, this part. Oh wow, that is not noticeable at all. Wow. There we go. Let's see. Anything I should change, by the way, Dizzy? Anything like major you think that needs editing? Okay, I think that's good for the... No, I can't think of any changes needed. Excellent. I will continue. This is like actually pretty good so far, I think. It's looking phenomenal. Oh, thank you. Very, very happy to hear that. I really want to get her down right because she's a super neat character. I wanted to kind of get that down pat. Here we go. Oh, I might have to change up the metal a bit more, actually. Yeah, I'm going to change the metal up a bit more. More than anything, I just want to thank you for grabbing the slot. I really appreciate it. Oh, actually, I had something there. Oh, that looks really good. Perfect. Okay. Her hands, right? What color are her hands? Where's the reference? Okay, so her hands are brown. Okay. Oh, now this I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do with. Let me get her tail in too while I'm at it. What color is that? Also brown at the top. Okay. So her hands will be this color. So I don't think this part is gonna need a gradient. Oh, goodness me. Why is that like that? Here we go, add in her fingers. And then I can add in this part. And then I can add in the underfluff here. How does that look with the background, actually? Okay, I'm gonna have to make her a teeny bit smaller for her to fit, but I think that's good so far. Eyes are gonna be rough, but it turns out as well as it has been. I will certainly be trying to commission you next year. Oh, well, I'll tell you this. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate that. Yeah, holidays are definitely something, to say the least. I've also got to do a bunch of shopping for friends and family. This confounded area is eluding me. Okay, what if I make this a bit more... What if I make this purple too? No, that's too much purple. I like that, but it feels a little bit too much, just monotony-wise. Can I make this red? No. Ooh, wait, hold on. Maybe like a burgundy would be good. Damn, I don't know. This looks kinda nice. But it's the darks that are causing the problem here, because that doesn't quite tessellate how I'd like it to. Could darken it more. What if it's like white? No. No. Yeah, no. Oh yeah, this is gonna be a bit of trouble to figure out. You know what I might just do? I had a feeling this needed to be broken up. It's a little too much monotony in the shape. So I think I'm gonna have her wear shorts. They'll come across like so. Just to have the color break up a little bit more. But just for the hell of it. Add in a bit more shape here. Makes sense, bounces out the contrast. Yeah, because the trick is I need a light down here because it has to balance out with the top of her head. Well, it doesn't have to, like, you know, I can make it whatever I want at the end of the day, but if you want it to look right, this needs to be some kind of light. So much going on with her upper half, lower, yeah. Now I could just straight up make this like a leotard. Like it's just her legs here. Actually, you know, I'll try that. Let's see how that looks. Let me take this out of the equation real quick. Yoink. You know, actually, I think I'm gonna make this red. Actually, no, it does look nice in that, like, silvery kind of white. I'll leave that like that for now. Yeah, let me try this. Show you what I had in mind. Okay, and then I can get this color I wanted to do for the nylons over. And that will be set to multiply. Yes, that's exactly what I wanted. So this is what I had in mind for this. Maybe slightly more red to match up with that. Yeah, like that. So it's kind of like a dress almost. So this could work. This does make sense. It does look nice. But I feel like her legs are still a little too bare. But you know what might just be messing me up? It might just be this dark color here on the main part here. Let me rework this a bit. Ooh, wait. Ooh, wait. Hang on a sec. Hold up. Hold up. Wait a minute. Let me see. Like that. I do like that a lot. Yeah, let me make this the same color as the dark up here. Yeah, I'm leaving that there just for now. What to put for this? I want this to be a bit more visible, but still dark. I do really like that. Yeah, let's go with it. Let's try it out. What's the worst that could happen? What color did I have this before? Plus, I think her nose looks a bit better as a lighter color. It does look a lot nicer, that's for sure. I agree. The balance is much more consistent with this one. But her nose should be a teensy bit lighter, a bit more orange, and slightly less saturated. There we go. Yeah, I like that a bit more. It's just this part. What am I gonna do with this? Let me see. Yeah, it's not bad. For her, actually, you know what? I think I'll have like a separate gradient area for her stomach. Oh, I do kind of like how aggressive, like the shift to dark is, though. It does look really good. Okay, you know what? I think I'm gonna do this. I'll fix her nose in a moment. I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna do this. Down here, her stomach is. And I think that looks kind of nice. Maybe smooth it out a bit more. Yeah, I do like that a lot. I kind of want to keep her nose a lighter color. I'm gonna make it darker, but I want to keep it as light as I can because I think it actually helps us balance a lot more. Something like this, maybe. Like that. I'll keep it like that for now. And then I think her hair is gonna have to change slightly as well. Oh, okay, yeah, never mind. That's perfect. I literally just had to shift it over like 2 points on the hue scale. Okay, that's perfect. Now would these chains look better in any kind of hue saturation specifically that isn't like purple. No, I think that's about as good as it's gonna get. The strap I can work with though, I think a little bit more. Yeah, the strap can be changed up a bit. There we go, much better. Now, does her sweater have to stay red? Because this looks kind of really nice on its own. I do really like that. Let me try the white again. No, probably not. Let me go back to the red. More pink. Oh, I see what's throwing me off. The sweater isn't going down as far as it should. Something here is messing me up. What's tripping me up here? Something isn't blending quite right. I think the... Okay, you know what? Let me make this like purple. I know I didn't want to before, but let me try it. Kinda. It's worth a shot. Oh, actually, wait. And then... So her color palette kind of lends itself to a very monochromatic look. This is nice, actually. This is nice. I just don't know how I feel about it. She does contrast a lot better in the purple, but I like the red. What do you think? Red or purple? Okay, so it seems like whatever color the sweater is, it has to be really saturated. Okay. Her hair is fine. The main outfit is fine. I think you're right. She does contrast. Yeah, she looks a bit better in purple, doesn't she? Let me try something real quick. Just to see. I'm gonna invert the colors of the sweater that she has on. Oh, thank you, Mark. I'm gonna invert these colors real quick. I'm gonna see what that does. What if I make this really, really purple? Or just like dark kind of nylon. I try to experiment with a few different looks before I really decide anything for certain. I do like this. This is kind of elegant. I do think this looks okay, but I don't know if it looks better than this. This has very good contrast. You know, what if I have this part of this on the same kind of spectrum here? that looks good. Ooh. It does match your hair. Oh, whoa, hang on. Ooh, very, very, very slight idea I'm getting here. And then, what if... And perhaps, what is this? What do we think of that? Hey, you know what? Let me... Okay, let me boil this down into 3 major looks for her, real quick. So there's this look, and then the one she had before. I do like this. It's just a little too monotonous on the sweater, I think. Let me go back to how she looked before. Ah, damn. Okay, so this is definitely too desaturated. That's what I'm noticing for sure. I think this is too simple. This is that moment in the clothing design where the clothing designer does not know how to design anymore, so I'm just kind of trying things to see if it looks right. Let me try this. Oh, whoa, 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 hang on. Okay, that's going somewhere. Let me try. No, no, no. Okay, maybe if I just really saturate this. Okay, that looks good. Does it look better? Does she look better in black or does she look better in purple? She looks better in purple. She looks better in color, I suppose I should say. Yeah, no, colors definitely look nicer on her, I think, than just like a very, very dark. Okay, this is eluding me. This is usually how this goes at this stage. What if I just do something really funny and just like, I don't know, just make this some like random color? Not quite. Where's the white of her sweater again? Think out loud. It's a very interesting gradient, the bust and the belly. No, it's not a dumb idea, don't worry. Yeah, it might, actually. I'm just trying to think about how that might look. Yeah, let's try it. Why not? Let me saturate this a bit more. And then I might just darken this part up here. Terrible. No, no worries, that's not terrible. Sometimes you just have to try things until they, like, work. Because for me, my trouble with this is that she has a very warm color palette. Which means what would look best would probably have to be, like, purple or also really, like, red. Which is why red was coming to mind. You know what? Fuck it. Hang on, I have an idea. I'm just gonna... Sometimes you just gotta do this in a piece and just take off, like, everything that's not fundamental. Okay, what if I made her... What if I just made this extremely red? Just what I did before, because I did think this red is when it was consistently working out the most. This very orangey red, because I think this really blends well with her fur color. Something like this. Okay. And then I'll make the strap red too. No, red. It has to be red. Would white work? Maybe. I'll keep that like an orangey red for now. Okay, those are her legs. This is her hair. What if I rework her hair a bit? To reflect some of that red. Ooh. Okay. It's a little better. Can I shift? No, that looks odd. I think I can add a gradient to her tongue at least. It's one of them color theory moments. Now her tongue is fine like that. Okay. You know what, actually, this kind of looks fine already. What if I mess with the silver a little bit? Because the silver, the highlights could also be throwing me off a bit. What if I made them gold? Just out of curiosity. Let's try gold. Nope, definitely not. A darker color, maybe? Oh, you know what, actually? That doesn't look too bad when it's a bit darker. It's not entirely what I had in mind. No, I think the light is... Actually, no. Let me try this again. Yeah, this is when I start going a little nuts in most of my pieces, because it's always like, it's always colors that are the thing that you really gotta get down sometimes. I think we've already got a couple of good solutions. Yeah, I'll keep that like that. Let me just go all in on just going random with it. This is one of them periods where you just gotta keep trying until it works. It goes for life as well sometimes, I suppose. Let's see, how does that look? You know, what if I try yellow with it? I think she'd look good in yellow. And it would contrast, it would work really well with, Oh, ooh, wait. Okay, I think... Yep, okay, yeah, I think we found it. I think it's yellow. I don't know, what do you think? I really like how this kind of contrasts with her. I think it works quite well, but if you have a suggestion, I'd love to hear it, actually. Any little bit helps. Oh, wow, okay, that looks good. So, Mark, you think yes. What do you think, Dizzy? It does look nice, I think. And how does that look with the background? Okay, that pops well. But just for the fun of it, I'm gonna add a bit more silver down here, because I think she needs that. I think this looks pretty good. Yeah, I think this makes the most sense. Oh, wait, hang on. Idea. Let me try making the gradient down here. This is also, I think the yellow is the one that works the best, personally. It's the one that I'm seeing looks the nicest, no matter what combination I do with it. But I do want to add a little something more. Okay, I kind of like that. Maybe I'll just leave it like that. Oh wait. Oh no, her thighs are completely like that. Actually, no, they have that brown over there. That might help to break this up, actually. It might give this just enough contrast. Let's try it. A little bit inconsistent, but let me add some tufts of fur here just to test it out. Okay, not quite. I think this is pretty much about as good as it's gonna be. But I want to be certain, so I'm gonna test it a little more. Oh, you think the fur tufts were good? Actually, hang on, let me go back to that. I have an idea. Wait. Because I do want her shape to still be visible. And I want this transparency to really show, so I can add some refraction going up her hip. Maybe like so. Just going up the side like that. Just to be sure, I'm going to try one more color shift for the sweater. I'll try red again. I'm very meticulous with this stuff. Maybe one last shift on her head. Oh, hell, I appreciate that as well. Yeah, no, sometimes it's like, I can see, like, what color would feel right, and then I kind of just, I need it to look right. You know, it's good. Sometimes it's nice to have, because, like, you know, you want it to be good. You want it to look right. Sometimes it's not good to have, because sometimes I overthink way too much. It really just depends on the piece at the end of the day. But I think I can clear... But I like getting to detail. Oh my goodness, how did I miss that? Her cheek tuft. This is supposed to be like this. Yeah, there's a bit of a balance you gotta strike. Also, I think the red looks pretty nice, actually. Just let me go back to the yellow quick. Let me go back to the yellow with the current saturation I have on the skirt part. Why is this on a separate layer? Why isn't this just on the same layer as the sweater? The strap. Okay. Then we'll settle it by committee. So just one last time. So yellow, red. And then yellow. And then red. I don't know either, honestly. It's quite hard. They're both really nice. Yellow, and then red. Yellow. And red. Happy with either? Okay. In that case, I think I'm gonna go with red with a few minor changes. The red does look, I think the red fits her personality a little more, but I'm gonna make a few very minor edits. Just to really make it stand out. Can I add like a leaf pattern here maybe? Something floral. I feel like the red makes a bit more sense for this kind of character. Just for fun, what happens if I make her stomach red? Sorry, white. Okay, no. I don't know what I was expecting. You know, I might make these sleeves white. Or would that blend too much with her fur? That blends too much with her fur. Then I'll make them a lot darker. Oh, I totally forgot to make the purse like an actual color. Yeah, I think I'll keep to... Yeah, I think I'll stick with the red theme for this. Because I like the... I think it fits her, and the red and purple just looks nice. Speaking of which... Yeah, We need some white to break this up. No. So we're not totally abandoning the kind of yellowish look in some areas. Like this purse, I think, definitely needs to be white. Or at the very least, some kind of like creamish color. Oh yeah, that looks nice. And just for fun. Yeah, no, white works consistently. No, white for sure. And I'll add details to it. And then I'll add a gradient to the strap. Perfect. And now I really don't think there's much else I could change in the color palette here that would really make too much of a difference. I think she's pretty consistent with this. I think she looks fantastic. Oh, thank you. Oh, I really appreciate that. I'm gonna be saying that a lot. I just I don't know what else to say. Just for fun too. I had a thought of like adding. I don't know if this might be too much. I like these kind of like Art Deco style patterns that I put in my art now and then. Yeah, it's kind of vying for attention a little bit. It would be nice, actually, kind of maybe like. So we just break up the shape a little bit. Yeah, I'm kind of just throwing stuff at the wall. I do kind of like that. I think here it looks nice. Yeah, I think I'll keep that. Okay, I think this is good for her color. In that case, I think I can move to shading. Yeah, I can move to shading. Let me just merge some of these layers because they're kind of in the way. You see what I mean? Like I can't let it go. I still want to see what it would look like in a different color. Okay. Yeah, okay. Still the same layer. It's her skirt. Oh. Oh shit, that actually looks kind of nice. Does it look nicer than before? Yeah, I think it does actually. Okay, I'll leave the skirt like that. Okay, perfect. Where the hell did I leave my... There it is. My line work layer. Okay, this is the fun part. I like to color my line art. Oh, well, not like that. I like to color my line art because I think it helps it stand out quite a bit at times. So, you know, I think I can make this kind of glowy look on her eyes much more apparent. You know what? little bit more. That's a bit too much. There we go. And we'll just kind of smooth that out a bit here and there. There we go. Perfect. Hey, I was right. I think we did pretty much just get all the colors done. I'm not sure if I can do all the shading today. I'll do my best so. Don't push your tilt too hard. Ah, no worries. I'm actually very relaxed right now. This is fun. Usually I'm a bit more energetic, like when I'm like working on something, like I'm a bit more chaotic with it, but no, this one has been a pretty relaxing one. It was just that yellow and red thing that was driving me nuts. Okay, the eyes are fine, or the eyebrows. Yeah, her eyebrows have got to be way, 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 way more visible, I think. So you can't really see that at all. Much better. Okay, now I'm gonna add that glow I was talking about, because I really want that to be visible too. You know what? Let me see. How would this look? Little homage to the yellow-red fight. Tiny bit of yellow glint in her eyes. Does that look okay? Let me try that again. There's going to be plenty of yellow in this piece regardless. Nah, maybe not. No, I think these are just gonna, this is just gonna stay the same color as her eyes previously. And some final detailing on her eyelashes, I think. To really make them stand out. Yeah, this is a little cluttery. Oh, you know what I can add? I can add a very, very, very slight amount of lip down here. Bit less obvious, I think. There we go. She looks lovely, I think. Okay, now I can finally do the shading. I think this should be good for it. Yeah, let me fix the glow very briefly on her eyes, because I think it's a little bit too visible. Oh, that's much nicer. looks really good. Yeah, okay, I think this is consistent. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna move on to her shading. Okay. I think I can get rid of this now. Yep. Oh, I did say I was gonna make her smaller, didn't I? Yep. Very small thing I have to do here, just to make sure she looks consistent with the background. Yeah. There we go. And I'll just make those last edits. Oh, I can add that there too. Teensy bit more cleanup. And just fix that on the lines. There we go. Oh, actually, wait, I didn't even realize that wasn't... That ain't right. There we go. Excellent. Okay, now the shading. So... That's not noticeable enough. Oh, that's so... Okay, that's really nice. Oh, yeah. Oh, I really... Okay. This is really nice. This is really nice. It's a very nice color to shade with. Now, how did I shade Sybil? Yeah, I used the... I think I just used my... Yeah, I just used my regular ink brush. Same as this one. How's this looking so far, Dizzy? Okay, yeah, the shade is really adding a lot here. And the shade be pulling its weight. Yeah, God. It's like one of the most satisfying things ever when the shading on a piece like looks good and not just like overstimulating sometimes. It's so nice. Here we go. Oh, actually, that is a small error I gotta fix. You're not supposed to be here. There we go. I had a feeling her hair looked a little too continuous there. Oh, did I miss that? One sec. There we go. God, this shading looks this shading looks really good. Actually, I can't. Oh my goodness. Also, sorry for the probably mic peak jump scare there. I always forget that this mic is not super grand for streaming. I definitely gotta buy a new one some point when I can. Okay, here we go. Oh, okay, this is just nice. This is just really fun. Oh, I haven't had this much shading something in a while. Probably since that Sybil piece, like a couple weeks ago. Yeah, it's a really fun one to shade. Oh no, that part down there might still be dark. But I think, yeah, the tail would be a bit brighter. What is this playlist? This is a good playlist. I've just kind of had like royalty-free music running in the background, and I'm like, oh, this one's actually kind of good. I mean, they've all been pretty good. I'm just kind of biased because I really like jazz. Oh yeah, this one is really coming to life with the shading. Bit more shine to this necklace here and there. There we go. Oh, and her chest is a little off. There you go. I think her lines have got to be a little bit brighter, actually. They're a little dark right now. There we go. The shading is adding so much. I know, it's like, it's super nice when the shading just like works. It's like one of the best feelings ever. That's why I do art. Hang on, let me get this right. There we go. Does this look like it's hard light? No. No. Darken? No. Okay, yeah, we're starting to multiply. I think I can get it a little nicer. I'm gonna have to raise the color of her hair very slightly, but I think I can make it look a lot nicer. There we go. Yeah, her hair's a bit more visible now. Yeah, definitely much more apparent. Let me nab that color again. Yeah, nab the color. Oh my goodness. Yeah, sometimes you just gotta go back and change the colors for stuff to look good with shading. But it definitely helps a lot. So she's got a bit of a backlight on her here. I'm not sure if that's entirely. I think it would just be over here because her ponytail would be in the way a bit. But I'll leave it there just for fun. Add a bit more light here. And I think down here she's got to be a little smoothed out. Okay, I'm going to duplicate that. And I'm going to... Actually, no, this color was like perfect, I think, for the shade. And I can add a bit more depth on her hair here. And you're really gonna like this. Let me add in the shine for her hair. Where's my luminosity? There we go. Actually, no. It's always a bit tough to get down right. That's why I have my brush that does it for me sometimes. There we go. There we go. Nah, actually, let me try that again. The jazz is making me want to kind of give this a slightly more... I guess it would be down there, actually. don't like how it looks up there. I'm gonna keep it up here. How did I do the hair on Sybil, actually? Oh, I just really shaded the hell out of it. Okay. I might try that again. So I'm gonna see if I can get some ambient lighting on her, just to even it out. So she doesn't look too dark on some of these areas. Especially down here. I think she really needs it down here. Or you know what? I think if I'm gonna do it down there, then all of this needs to be... all of it needs to be dark down here too, yeah. And then I can do that. Yeah, there we go. It's much nicer like that. Maybe a bit of a water fringe. I just forget. No, no water fringe. Okay, I see. Oh, but it does look nice on her. Okay. Oh, this looks a shine, actually. I think that's a lot nicer. Now let's leave it like that. Okay, now I can add a little more to this real quick. Just gonna go over the empty bits. Fill them in. It was a fun trick I like to do. We're gonna put a normal, and then we're gonna put a overlay. And then this overlay is gonna be doing a lot of work for us. I'm gonna give her a kind of moonlight look to her. I might even have to... honestly, I might even have to make that like a lighten layer. Hang on. No, not quite. Hard light. I might just have to blur this. Yeah, I just have to blur it. So we want is this kind of glow effect here. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. So I can ditch this layer, and then I can readjust that a bit. Okay, what do you think of this? What do you think of this? This kind of mixture of colors here? How does that look with the background, actually? Oh, good lord, that looks really nice. Oh. Okay, that looks really good with the JADE logo in the back. That looks really nice. Oh, that looks crazy. Oh, that looks nuts. I think it actually looks really good in like this kind of... I think the green actually looks pretty consistently good already. I might make it a little more yellow. Oh, that looks That looks so nice. Oh my goodness. That came out so much better than I was expecting. I think I'm going to ditch this luminosity layer very slightly. That's what I'm forgetting. I knew I was forgetting something. So, I said I was going to do the glow for her eyes, and I really want to do it because I had a lot of fun doing that with Sybil, and I want to do it again. So, I'm going to do it again. It's tremendous. Thank you. Okay. I really want to do that again, so I'm going to do it again. So that means I'm going to have to darken this. Oh, that looks nuts. I think I can do this for her eyes. Man, I love this stuff. This is fun. I miss being on stream. It was really nice. This is really nice. There we go. And then I think I have to get this kind of glow coming off here. To be a little more saturated, I think. Oh, that is the completely wrong layer. How did I do this? Actually, wait, let me go back to this. Oh, that's gorgeous. Clean it up a little bit in some of these areas just to make it a little less sharp. Actually, no, I kind of like how sharp it looks in some of it. Okay, we'll leave it like that. This is like the perfect music for this too. Some final details, and then I'll finish up with the shade on her. I did not think I was gonna. I didn't think I was gonna be able to finish her this evening, but this is really nice. This is very fun. Yeah, I really want these last details to come out like good too, so I'm gonna really focus on these. Get her looking consistent. And I really want the metallic parts of this to stand out. How did I do the metal on Sybil? Sybil has been like my go-to reference for this new style I'm trying out, just because I did so many things with her that I've like this gemstone, the light effects, especially this metal. I don't know how the hell I did that. That was nuts. But metal has always been tough for me. Been working really efficiently, so quick but not messy nor lazy, very attentive and focused. Oh, I try my best to be, because like, you know, I think most artists would be a lot better off if they knew how to do their stuff quickly, because I've known a lot of artists who like, I know some of them probably can't, or they struggle with it a lot, but like, Sybil turned out great. Oh, thank you. It's probably my favorite piece I've done yet so far, at least for a while. And yeah, I think the problem is that a lot of artists just, you know, some people are different, some people can't, but like, I think a lot of artists who can do it would be a lot better off kind of just learning how to do their stuff really efficiently. Like knowing what to spend time on, what not to spend time on. And they would just get stuff done faster. And it's the reason I like doing stuff quickly is because it's so much less stressful for me. Because like I don't have to think about it. Like I've had pieces where I take like a decent amount of time. I think everyone has, but like I think generally speaking, most people would feel less stressed if, you know, like you do it, it's done, you don't have to worry about it. And that's kind of the philosophy I try to stick to with my drawings. I know a lot of artists definitely talk about how they wish they were faster for sure. It's, if you don't know how to do it, it's very frustrating. I practiced a lot for like about a year or two straight, just doing speed practices and like art trades. And art trades were probably the thing that made me really fast, because having like a deadline for something kind of forces you to get in the mindset of, oh, I have to finish this like today. Because then it's like, you know, it's like it's your ass on the line. Like, oh, and you want the piece to be done and you want it to be done right. As long as you're giving the right amount of detail, right amount of attention, it makes sense to try and complete things quickly. Yeah, I totally agree. But yeah, everyone's a little different. Different things work for different people. But generally speaking, I just did a lot of art trades, and that helped me get really fast really quickly. Let's see. Yeah, let me get this pendant. Oh, wow, that's freaky. Okay, I'm gonna have to color theory this. Freaky ass lighting over here. I might even have to make this like pink, I think. Yeah, or even just like white, maybe, to get the shine I want in here. Yeah. I always try my best to get done, like, at the very least, like, on time, just so, you know, like, it's done. That way it's more fun. I don't have to worry about it too much. There we go. Oh, something is missing from this, I think. Oh, yeah, these are missing from this. I really like the music for this right now. It's, like, perfect. Yeah, this is basically just gonna have to be white. Very desaturated white, too. Yeah, no, for stuff like this, I like spending time on the details. It's fun. Like the metal, really like nicely detailed metal is very fun to look at. It's a nice little thing, nice little detail. There we go. And some of that back there, and some of the light up here too while I'm at it, because it is reflecting up there. Or actually, no, that'd be a bit more pinkish, I think. Yeah. Oh gosh. Okay, she looks really, really, really good with the, like the really highlighted metal. That looks really nice. Oh, I missed some down here. Plus, it also just generally helps that my style is a little more expressionistic, which means I kind of have a bit of artistic liberty to add in some details that are kind of a bit more abstract, and I can get them done quickly without having to worry too much about them. Here we go. That's more a stylistic choice than anything. I kind of just like the way it looks. It's such a fun style. Oh, I appreciate it. Yeah, no, it's a stylistic choice. I've done really detailed art styles, like really, 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 really focusing on details, and it can just be frustrating. Absolutely want to see you draw. Absolutely want to see you draw her more in your style. Okay. God, no, I really want to draw her again. She's really fun to draw. I think that's pretty much the major details on her that I really wanted to get down. Edge lighting. Yeah. No, this piece has been. This is probably. Oh man, no, dude. I'm really enjoying these magazine pieces. I mean, you can probably tell just by how much time I'm spending, like making it look right. But I'm really enjoying making them because, like, I like doing commissions sometimes because I don't really have to think about it. Like, I can just do it. Uh, and I really like that I get to just focus on the thing I really enjoy, which is like designing clothing, because that comes super easy to me sometimes. Oh god, no, she looks so good. Like, sorry, I feel like I'm kind of tooting my own horn here. I'm sorry. I really like this kind of stuff. This is really fun. Actually, no, the belt doesn't really need any overshade there. I think I've got pretty much everything that needs to be solidly accounted for here. Damn. That's a really harsh lighting environment to draw in. And you know it's hard when even like 100% blue doesn't really look blue. Okay, that'll have to do. Such an interesting idea. Great way to present characters in a different way. Yeah, I mean, like, I've always really enjoyed designing clothing. It's been like bare minimum, it's really fun, and then like at most, it's like a super fun way to just like figure it out, like certain techniques and whatnot, and like what you want to specifically just how you want to draw things. Plus, clothing is definitely one of the things that's always good to practice with. I was literally telling Max one of the reasons I wanted to get some of your clothing designs. Well, this is literally the perfect YCH to do that. It's really good timing then. You know, clothing has always been a huge passion of mine. I've always wanted to like I like designing clothes because like I see the clothing that exists in the modern day most of the time, and I'm like, this is kind of boring, and like I so wish some of these designs could be real. Like if I had the money, I would start like a company or something and like just make these clothing, like these actual designs for real. At the very least, I'd like to see what one of them might look like in real life. I try to design them as though they were actually to be worn, so I try to make them like kind of at least feel like they'd be comfortable. So that's also a big part of it. Yeah, I don't think I'm ever gonna have that kind of money, but it would be fun to try someday. There we go. Okay, I think this is like perfect. From End Fashion. Yeah, modern fashion is just kind of boring. It is changing though, slowly. Kind of like how cars have been boring for the last like 20 years. Very slowly things are starting to get more interesting. It turned out so good. Oh, thank you. Okay, I'm gonna add some final little some final little details here. And I want her hair a little bit here to look kind of nice too. So I'm gonna clean this up a bit. Oh wow, actually wait, no, that looked really cool. Wait, let me go back. Yeah, really accentuate the highlight on that. No, it needs to be darker. Very nice. Perfect. Okay. Is there anything I could possibly add to her? Okay, I think I'm gonna change this background color. I do like how the green looks, but I want to see if there's any... The teal looks okay. Dark blue looks kind of fine. Let me try red. What does it look like with just really, really, really heavy reds? That's what I got for using a color overlay layer. Hard light. Okay, let me try this. Color. Meh. Meh. And then... No, I think that green is actually, like, perfect. I may adjust this slightly. Yeah, wait. I have an idea. So this is already kind of warm down here. I could make it warmer, and I could just straight up make this red, and I kind of want to see what that would look like. Super bright red, like a pink almost. What if I make it blue, actually? Something about this color palette just feels, like, nice. I can't quite put it into words. It just feels right. Makes sense. Excellent. Okay. Oh, wow. Actually, that little bit more of overlay kind of helps a lot. No, maybe not. This one, yeah, maybe. Okay, so this is the part where I'm gonna need your help, Dizzy. So I need information, like, on your character, just like, I don't know, like little facts you want me to put in, because what I'm gonna be doing... where is this? Where's the info tab? Oh, there we go. So that was sigil. Yeah, here we go. So, I'm gonna need info, because I'm gonna be adding in the magazine part of this. Up here. So anything you're, like, comfortable with sharing, essentially. Okay. Does that look with this one? Oh my goodness, that looks good. What kind of info? Let me see. Hang on, let me see what's already on the refs. Her name's Reina. Okay, that's it. Let me see. Where did my info layer go? There we go. Yeah. So, like, what I'm essentially doing here is, Reina... is I'm filling in this empty space here. That's what I'm doing. I might make this a bit smaller. Much better. Oh, Claire? Okay. Claire. Definitely good I made that a bit smaller then, because that's a bit longer. 720, 750. There we go. Let me see. What would this outfit... Casual fancy. Okay. Yeah, why not? What does she like to do in her spare time, for example? Like what does she do? I like adding little tidbits of stuff. Party girl with a sweet tooth. Okay, I have an idea. should be 150. No, still a bit too big. 134. Almost perfect. I like guessing what pixel size the text needs to be to get it to fit just right sometimes. So this should be 140 actually. 139. 37. There we go. Wait, hi, I love this. Oh, hey. Pleasure to have you on the stream, Kadzooks. Yeah, so this is the YCH I've been doing. It's essentially a big project where people get to pay to have their characters. It's kind of like a YCH, thing, like a commissioning. That's what you would do. And I'm putting together like a magazine and whatnot. So at the end of the month, I'm going to take all these different characters and I'm going to put them together in like a fully compiled magazine because that's kind of what I like to do sometimes, a bit of a designer. So let's see. Oh, hey Max, what's up? Let me see, quarter page, flats, original. Wait, that's so cool. Thank you. It's an idea I've had for a while. How did you decide on the format? Yeah, so it's an idea I've had for a while. I actually started a different YCH before that. In fact, you can probably check the streams on it. It was the Bikini Fit one. And while doing it, I noticed I had a really fun time working on just the outfits. One of the things I've really loved doing throughout all the time I've been doing art is I really, really, really like doing just outfit designs. And so I was like, well, okay, well, why don't I just do something that's like just that? Because I've never really had the chance to do it, and I've always kind of wanted to do something that's just focused on outfits. And I wanted to do it consistently, so I was like, well, I should make it profitable, because then I can actually do this stuff consistently. And like, it turns a profit, it's fun. And so that's what I'm doing. It's a pretty basic idea. Bunch of YCHs throughout the course of the month, and then I put them all together, I do them. Each page has their own little, personality, their tidbits and whatnot, and I get to do everyone's characters, which is pretty fun too. And then by the end of the month, I'm going to put it together. I guess the short version is I just like designing clothes, I suppose. Let me see. So yeah, no, I just I wanted to design stuff like this properly and just consistently. Hello, Max. Oh no, Max, you're a little sick. Everything okay? Okay, let me see. What should I add here? Oh, Dizzy, just to be clear, what species is she? Like, what kind of animal is she? Like, is she like a wolf or a coyote or something? Need to find the spelling. Okie dokie. Let me see. What do I need to add here? Canine. What pun can I make out of a canine? The word. I need a foolish joke to put here. Let me see. Actually, I think I'm gonna add some blue down here because I need to balance this out. There we go. Perfect. Wow. Gerberian Shepsky. That's a new one. That's kind of neat. I don't know if I can add it all, but it does give me an idea. Sure, we'll go with that. Okie dokie. So we got the info up here. And I'm gonna bring that down. Don't try to cram it if it's a bit too much. No worries. What's your thought process for this? Like assembling the words and font in an artistic way? Uh, it's hard to say. The extremely short version is just my go-to for pretty much everything is the shape of it. The shape of it has to look right. Like above all else, if the shape doesn't look right, it's kind of doesn't matter what you put the text as, it's gonna look a little funky. So I try my best to kind of just get the view right, because like the focus here is like we want, like for example, like with Claire over here, like we want her head visible, we want the angle, like the really 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 crazy angle here to be visible. Like we know we want that visible. We want as much of her outfit as possible visible. And so that means I have to work with the negative space that I've got, which is everything else like in the background and like all this other stuff. Which means generally what I'm working with here is like this space, like on the edges. So as far as like text goes, I did actually study graphic design, and like so like I've studied design, and like a lot of my art is self-taught in general. So I spent a lot of time like studying design work and otherwise. And generally the go-to things like looking here is contrast. So all of this text is very blocky. It's all very display. And so if the biggest parts of this are display, you want the parts that are going to be readable to be much more elegant, because that will be very noticeable. So I chose just like a regular sans serif font for this, like nothing too crazy. Like there's dozens of these online you can find. But yeah, really it just depends on the shape, I'd say. Ooh, that looks good. Damn, okay. This yellow looks really good, actually. But yeah, if you want to see more, I've done tons of streams for YCHs. I've got my FA, I've got my Twitter, my like my Instagram, that sort of thing. You can check out all the art I've done if you want to go see more. What are your biggest inspirations for design as you self-studied? Design. Okay, that's kind of hard. So for art, I can tell you Nate was a big inspiration when I first started getting into art because she has a really cool style. Nate Miles DF for his shading, still like easily top tier shaders, super unique style. But just for design work, like if you want to look at like really like nice designs, try looking at Swiss posters from the 1950s and 60s. The Swiss poster movement was pretty cool. Um, Norman Rockwell did a lot of cool stuff for magazines that was pretty nice. Uh, Paula Scher had some cool stuff. She did some really nice things. And there's a couple other designers I can't quite recall off the top of my head. Okay, but this looks just about done. I think there's a couple little bits in here that I want to correct real quick. But yeah, no, if you really want to get into type stuff, check out some of the Swiss designers of the 1940s to 50s. Those posters are very nice. You'll find some really good stuff there. Okay, so I think this is just about done. So I think I want this to be a little... Yeah, Swiss design is like it's like type 101. It's like how you learn all this stuff really fast. Okay, I think I want the background to be a little more consistent here. This green is very good, but I need it to be a little something more. Info is golden. Thank you, of course. Oh, that looks really good. It's like a street at night. But if you want probably some of my biggest inspirations, it's got to be like... A lot of it has to do with vibe. Just watching a lot of movies from the 80s, 90s, a lot of cartoons, that sort of thing. Lop and Oko, Ocho, I don't remember what it's called, from I think Star Wars Visions was pretty cool. Like, that was really neat to see. Um, anything that's like got a very high contrasty art style is definitely cool to learn from, because they definitely have like a cool vibe going about it. Oh, what looks best here? Actually, this looks pretty fine. Okay, is everything with this fine, Dizzy? Anything major you want changed? Well, I suppose it's a little late to make major changes now that I think about it. Ooh, wait, actually, teensy little thing I want to fix here. Almost missed that. There we go. Perfect. That's a bit too saturated, actually. Much better. Can't think of a single thing. Oh, well, it was wonderful working on you. Sorry, it was wonderful working on this for you. Oh my goodness. It was wonderful working on this for you. Thank you so much for grabbing the slot. For anyone else who's interested, I've still got another 2 slots of these, of this specific one open. And I've still got another 7 slots of these, the portrait ones. These are flat color, but these are still pretty fun. I mean, I've had a bit of fun working on these. Coming back for more in the new year? Yeah, for sure. I plan to be doing, well, I want to see how Jade Magazine goes. I want to see if people like it, if it's something people would want. Right now, my goal is just to, just get people, just to fill up all the slots for the YCH. And assuming that happens, I'm considering, I don't think it's ever going to happen, but like, it's a possibility that I might consider like getting some of these printed out. That could be fun, and then I could, I don't know, like sell them or something. But for now, I just want to see if I can even sell all the slots, We'll see. Ooh, exciting? Yeah, it is exciting. Like I said, I've had this idea in my mind for a while. I really want to get it done. I'm having a lot of fun with this. And yeah, I think it's just something I've just wanted to try. Bare minimum, I'm just glad I'm getting the idea out, because I've been thinking about it for a decent amount of time. Could you imagine, like, mags of this? That'd be so cool. Oh, thank you. It would certainly be... That would be kind of nuts if it ever did happen. I think I would really enjoy that. But I don't know. I'm just gonna see if I can sell slots. I'm not too concerned. It would be cool. I'm just gonna say that much. But we'll see what happens. Okay, so for this one, I think I have to get her tail out briefly. Oh my goodness, why is Paint Tool sound like this? Oh, you know what? Why don't I just make this easier for myself? Why am I... Where's the layer? Where's the background layer? Let me just copy this. Yeah, there we go. Much easier to just do that. Where the hell did I even paste that? There we go. Up here. Excellent. It's a fun idea and you have such a way for fun we all. Gosh, I can't thank you guys enough just for like the compliments and stuff. It's super sweet. Okay, so if that's everything then, Dizzy, I'm gonna compile all this and then I will send you over the finished piece. Okay, there's gonna be quite a few though, because I'm gonna give you variants for everything. So let me see, getting ready, Dizzy flats. Score background, excited for them, excellent. So yeah, this is pretty much just the showcase. Stream's gonna end here, most likely, in a little bit, a few minutes. But yeah, I'm gonna showcase the full piece for anyone who still hasn't seen it. Just check it over. And if you guys are curious, I've done loads of more streams like this you can all check out. Or just check out some of my art too. This is shaded. Is this not? No, this isn't full. This is the shade. Okay. Very, very lovely. Thank you, Mark. You guys are all very sweet. Okay. And then this is the full one. Oh, it's gonna be like that. Okay. I see how it is. Might have to cheese this a little just to make it slightly more visible down here, but you know how it be. There we go. I generally don't like putting backgrounds for readability on text, but I think in this case it's needed, especially just down here. Okie dokie. YCH Dizzy underscore full. Yeah, here we go. Just gonna take a sec to export everything. And then the alternate background, which is this one, without the alcohol. Here we go. Poster. Oh, this is the flat one. Yeah. This is the poster version. And this is the one with the shading. And then this will be the version with the text. Full. Perfect. One last final check. Yeah, I suppose that's everything. You know what, actually, I think I'm gonna send you the full variant of this one without the little bottles there, because that's a wee bit difficult to look at. Gosh, okay, this is probably... I haven't done many YCHs. I've only really done, like, the one big... Well, I did that one for a few months, so, like, it was a huge YCH, but this is really fun. Like, I'm having a lot of fun just doing these. Okay, so that's... pretty sure that's everything for today. Yeah, I don't think I have anything major. This is the last person who commissioned. This is Lexi's, which you can actually go see in the other stream if you'd like. They were also super sweet. Definitely worth checking them out. I believe they have a blue sky. But yeah. Let me take this info text down to the right folder. It turned out so well. Oh, thanks, dude. Yeah, no, this one came out really nice. For the first, it took so long to get the perspective right. I'm really happy with how it came out. But alright, so that's everything for tonight. If you guys like the stream, feel free to check around for the next one. I'll definitely be doing the next one as soon as I get the next slot. If somebody buys it or whatnot. This one's $250. You can go check out my Twitter or, you know, my FA or something to go see the specifics and whatnot. But yeah, so if you guys like my art, you like my videos, feel free to subscribe or just check out my stuff. Thank you for everything, and thank you for all being so sweet tonight. Yeah, I hope you all have a lovely evening, and thank you for coming in. Oh, also, like, huge thanks to Dizzy, who's Mae in the chat there for actually calming this piece. It was very sweet of them, and just thank you so much. All right, have a good evening, everyone.